and welcome to Talk a Good Game. It's the preview of Newcastle United against West Ham United, 3 p.m. kickoff at St James's Park on Saturday. I'm Gio from hammerchat.com and I've got Gonzo and Tom with me as well. Gonzo, what's your opinions on Newcastle?
Newcastle, I think they've probably made a very good signing in John Joe Shelvey. I think before that there was far too much of a French contingent. Old Stevie Van McLaren is, I think he's more of a coach than a manager, the complete opposite of Harry Redknapp. So he's all coaching on the training ground and not much man management. I really like, they've got a youngster called Rolando Aarons, never seems to play. I like the fella Perez up front.
Aarons is injured, Chris. They've got 9 injured players at the moment, actually. They've got a fair injury crisis themselves, but it's more reserve players, if you like. It's Ronaldo, I like. Big fan of him. Gutted West Ham outside him. Gonzo, do you not think 12 million was a bit excessive for Shelby, though?
Yeah, but that's the way. I mean, you saw the guy last night, Afobe. They spent 10 million for him, and I thought, oh my goodness, that's a touch too much. As we've said before, Jordan Rhodes, 12 million. Look at Fulham signed somebody for 12 million, didn't they, from Leeds only last season? I just think with the big deal, almost 12 million is the new 3 million, as it were, because the money coming into the game is so big. So, listen, if he keeps them up, it's an excellent 12 million.
Tom, they're sitting 18th. Do you think Newcastle are in another relegation battle?
I do, yeah. I think one of the North East teams is going to go down. So it maybe 2 of them, and that'll help us out next season with the old away travel. You haven't got to go up about 5 hours travelling to get up there and 5 hours back. But no, yeah, I do think Newcastle are in trouble.
Do you think they're too big to go down, Tom? Because I think there's a few Premier League clubs that, with their fan base, they just shouldn't be near relegation. Do you think Newcastle fit into that category?
No, no club's too big to go down, Gio. I mean, they've been down before, and they come straight back up again. So there's no reason why they can't go back down again, And the Premier League, it's so difficult. It really is. It's really, really tight, and the margins are so fine. So yeah, they could go down, I think.
Gonzo, last night Newcastle played Man U, 2-0 down. They took it back to 2-2, 3-2 down. They scored in the very last minute of the game to get 3-3. Do you think that's going to give them a confidence boost like we got from Southampton that few weeks ago?
I do think it'll give them a confidence boost. Whether that's going to be enough to beat us, I don't know. I think our biggest problem is not going to be Newcastle or how they play. I think our biggest problem is the fact we're going from one end of the country in Bournemouth all the way to the other end of the country in Newcastle, and I think it may be the travel. I fear the travel much more than I fear any confidence that Newcastle may have got from getting a draw against Man U, who are pretty average themselves anyway. I think we're better than Man U and a lot better than Newcastle.
Well, Gonzo, I think we're going to have to get used to playing on Tuesdays and Saturdays next season, maybe. Touch wood and all that if we keep up this form. But let's talk about our own team then. Gonzo, do we put Jelavic up front, or does Bilic need to come up with another plan?
No, I mean, we did tremendously well against Bournemouth, but it was, and Tom was there. Tom, for anybody that hasn't seen, Payet ran straight over to Tom and started cuddling him. If you managed to watch it on any of the highlights, so Tom was there watching it as close up as you possibly could be. But I think he'd probably agree we were really playing with 10 men when we're playing with Jelavic. So I think, bearing in mind that what we saw can happen if Valencia is in the box, we know he's a poacher for Ecuador. Then I think we just play Valencia centrally and sort of go with that. And we've got to forget this Jelavic experiment. I know Andy Carroll's out, which you might want to talk about, but no more Jelavic for me.
So who do you bring in? If you put Jelavic up front to replace Andy Carroll, who do you take into Valencia's role from last night?
Well, I think actually what happened last night was almost Payet was given a totally free rein yesterday. So I think if you're going to do that, I think you could do any number of things. I know it's not ideal, but you could draft Son back in and almost push Noble slightly wider of a midfield 3, or if Coyote's fit again, I don't know exactly what's happening there at the moment. But I think even one of those midfielders like Obiang or Song or Noble slightly out of position as a wide central midfielder, which allows Valencia to play centrally up front, is still better than Jelavic up front.
Tom, what's your opinion on that? Who do you want to see up front? Jelavic, you put Valencia up, and if you put Valencia, what are you doing in the midfield?
It depends if Moses is going to be available for the Newcastle game. Then he throws into he can go on the wing, and Sammy on the wing. We can put, as Chris said, don't know what's happening with QA. Yeah, so QA, Noble, and Obiang in the middle. Yeah, as Chris said, maybe alter it around. But I mean, it just goes to show Valencia. You put him in his position, central attacker, and he scores 2 goals. And he's got a bit of confidence behind him now, and I think Bilic is all for one for not dropping players when they've been playing really well. He's done it with Obiang on the Bournemouth game after playing well against Wolves. So I expect Valencia to start against Newcastle.
The last thing I personally want to see is the 3 centre midfielders back, Gonzo. I'll disagree with you there. I don't want to see that. I do not like it. I think it affects us too much. I want to see Bilic.
What would you do then? Are you keeping Jelavic?
I would have Valencia up front. I would have Jenkinson right wing. I think he's got all the attributes to be a winger. Well, I'll ask you this, Gonzo. What has Antonio got that Jenkinson doesn't?
Power.
Jenkinson's got enough power. I think Jenkinson's got enough power.
He's skinny. He's okay. He's an absolute brute. Antonio is an absolute brute. He did some things yesterday, Antonio, in the Bournemouth game, which he showed a bit of trickery. He showed a bit of fleet of foot, which I didn't actually know he had. I thought he was all about knocking it 5 yards past the defender and then turning it into a running race and then beating that way, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it was actually yesterday. He did a few nutmegs and flicks and bits and pieces. Oh, hello. But perhaps he's got a little bit more to his game than I gave him credit for. So no, listen, he is a better attacking threat than Jenkinson will be, and I understand. I'm not particularly arguing with the facts. Do you know what? Like I said, even a wide midfielder out of position is better than Jelavic. I would still agree that Jenkinson playing right midfield is better than Jelavic. I think anything is better. I think Tom up front is better than Jelavic.
Yeah, I mean, I still want to see Antonio on the left wing. I would like to see Jenkinson on the right. I just think he's got enough in his locker to be a winger. And what's everyone's issue with Jenkinson? His defensive side of the game. So take that out. Just take out the defensive side and let him play his attacking game. Give him that role in front of Tompkins, and it takes pressure off Tompkins having to go forward. But anyway, ladies' game on the 24th of January next Sunday. If anyone's free, they're at home to Tottenham. Hammers Chat will be there, and we're making the programme as well. So do come along, give us your thoughts. But Gonzo, are you confident for the game on Saturday? Then, do you think we're going to get a result?
Yeah, I do. I think confidence is riding high. Not only is confidence riding high with us, their confidence is wafer thin. And I don't just mean that of the Newcastle team. I mean of the 51,000 loyal Geordies who turn up and who have basically seen their club. Well, listen, I mean, it's another story. I think how Mike Ashley has run that club is not very good at all. And I think their confidence is paper thin. I think if we were to score an early goal against them, I think you'll get the moaning. That's a lot of moaning and groaning from 50,000 people. And I think at that point, it could be trouble. As long as our fitness is good, then I am confident. Yes.
I think you're bang on about the fans. Something people might not know, up to tonight, before the Wednesday night's games, if all the games finished at half-time, West Ham would be third in the league. So we don't actually do that bad in the first half. Despite being 1-0 down at Bournemouth at half-time, 1-0 down against Southampton not long ago, we would be third in the league if all the games finished at half-time. And if we can capitalise on that at St James's, I think we could turn that place into a cauldron, which works for us. Some stats about Newcastle, though, they've got just 2 wins in 11 at home all season. However, they've only lost 1 of their last 4 at St James's Park. They've got no win in 6 games, though. So they're bang out of form despite their 3-3 draw. Tom, what's your thinks? I think you're going to be more confident than us, Tom, because you've been in the crowd for the last God knows how many games. I think you go to too much games. But you were there against Bournemouth. I think your confidence must be a different level to mine and Gonzo's.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you've got to be. Away games are more. They're more atmospheric, you know, and you've been up to Newcastle. I don't know if you've been to Newcastle before, do you? I mean, but it's a very, very hostile environment, you know, and it can and that's I don't mean hostile and violent. I mean it's very, very You know, it's a very, very big ground. You know, it's very hostile, and they can get right behind their team. They can, you know, and when they're not happy, they're not happy. You know, but when they're happy, they're happy. But not happy, they're not happy. And so for me, I'm full of confidence. The last two games, I thought Bournemouth away and obviously Newcastle away, I'd have been happy with 2 draws. You know, it's the 2 points. We've got 3 points. I've already exceeded my expectation for the points. That's what I do. I break it down into 2 or 3 games, and I'm happy at the moment. We've got more points than I thought we'd get. So for me, it's a freebie. Go up there, enjoy it, just play. I hope the West Ham turns up for the second half of Southampton, the second half of the Bournemouth game, and I tell you what, we're going to be in for a really good game.
Well, before I ask these two guys 2 very difficult questions, actually, remember to hit the subscribe button while you're here. Come on to hammerschat.com. And before Saturday, for the team news, do check claretonhue.info for all the team news that's coming out from the club. Also, big question then, Gonzo. Centre-backs. We started Collins and Ogbonna. Reid is fit. Ogbonna looks shaky against Afobe. Are you dropping one, or are you keeping the faith with what you had against Bournemouth?
I think Billich's going to change a winning team. I think Ogbonna is doing very, very well. I thought, you know, I thought he stopped. I thought he stopped the guy. I mean, there was one particular tackle in the box which was absolutely sensational. I think Reid's a better player than Ogbonna. But I've still got. Don't drop Collins. I've still got this thing about having 2 left footers. I think I like a right footer and a left footer, and both Ogbonna and Reid are both left footed. And I'm going to stick with it. I'll stick with it, and I think Slaven will as well.
Tom?
No, I fully agree, and this is the good thing about squad depth, you know, and it's not the players' fault if they get injured, but the players now know, and we've never had this and I can't remember the last time I had it. The players now know if they get an injury, pick up even for 2 or 3 weeks, we've got a quality replacement, especially the central midfield and central defence are 2 of our strongest for a squad. You know, and they know, you know, if they're going to fall out of an injury, which is not their fault, they're going to get someone equally, if not better than them, come in and do a fantastic job, and it's going to make their job 10 times harder getting back into the team. And Reid at the moment is in that position, and Gonzo's right. Village is not one for changing a winning team, and yeah, Collins and Ogbonna have done nothing wrong to get dropped. So for me, they start against Newcastle. Sorry, Reedy.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I still think Reid's one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League. I think he's our best centre-back, but you're right, on merit, you keep that shirt until you play poor, and then Reid gets the shirt back. I think it's fantastic that if we beat Newcastle, we play Man City next Saturday, and the biggest gap possible between us is 4 points. 23 games gone, and we're 4 points behind Man City at the very most. It could be 1, it could be 2, whatever. At the very most, it's 4. For an exciting time to be a West Ham fan. Prediction times, though, gentlemen. Tom, score prediction, please.
I wasn't expecting a draw against Bournemouth. You know, I'm full of confidence. As I said, it's a freebie in my eyes. We're going to go up there, and we're going to, you know. And you talk about, you said about Gio about playing teams off the park. I think this could be the game. You know, as if they're deflated. I'm going to go 4-0 West Ham.
Whoa! I hope you're going to have money on that, Tom.
Oh, well, don't worry about that.
If it's 4-0, you heard it from Tom, and probably only Tom as well. Gonzo.
I'll tell you something, they might not have been serving booze in Bournemouth last night, but it's being drunk by the bucket load in Southend this evening, by the sounds of things. I'm going to go for 1-0. I think we'll be under the cosh, but I think the crowd will get frustrated. 1-0 to the Irons.
I rate Bournemouth higher than Newcastle. I've seen a different West Ham to what I've seen in years at the Vitality Stadium last night. I'm going to say 3-1 West Ham. I'm not quite as optimistic as Tom, but I'm very confident. But that's been Gonzo, that's been Tom, I've been Gio, we've been hammerschat.com. Do join us on the free forum, and also if you're on Facebook, facebook.com/hammerschat. You're on Twitter @hammers_chat. Do come and chat to us as well, and join in. Good night.